he isn't just like this sociopath. Like, he does have some feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to me, it felt like he was almost falling into that role of being of believing that he was like a husband and father.
Yeah. Yeah. And it goes back to where he suspects, like, his wife has woke up in the middle of the night, and she ends up going to the hospital because she's figured out, she runs the blood tests to see if it's actually her husband or Archer, and she sees that the blood type is different, and she realizes that that Travolta is actually telling the truth, or Nick Cage's character is telling the truth. It's really confusing to talk about and be coherent.
Yeah, it is. Without seeing it.
But yeah, and then Travolta, or Castor Troy, wakes up, and he's like, immediately thinks, oh, she must be on to me, and she's helping out, Nick Cage or Archer's character. So he goes to her hospital where she's on call, without, like, unannounced, and tries to catch her, and they are able to, she's able to set up, like, this false scenario for him where he realizes that he's just overreacting, and he's like, I just get so jealous sometimes, and what am I supposed to think when my wife sneaks out in the middle of the night and stuff? And she's like,
well, I'm a doctor.
Yeah. It's funny. And then his his cronies are just, like, randomly there with him, like, if she's not supposed to notice that these two new guys are just patrolling with,
Yeah, they definitely don't work for the FBI or whatever,
Yeah. There's all these little things that are just like, wow. Watching this through the lens of today.
Yeah.
With all the other movies that you watch and everything, and how does what would be your overall rating? Would you still recommend this to someone? Do you think it's a good, like, kind of time capsule piece? Do you think it sucks? Like, what?
Definitely a good time capsule piece, I'd say. I would probably only recommend this to people who I know enjoy, like, those types of movies. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I would recommend it to everybody.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Because for some people, this is definitely not, in their wheelhouse for what they consider, entertaining. But for me, this is something, we grew up in the 90s, so we kind of, we know these movies, these types of movies, this action and everything. So it's not crazy for us to enjoy this, because a lot of the crazy action 90s stuff, late 90s movies, were definitely like this. For me, it's kind of more nostalgic in a sense. Again, I didn't watch this a whole bunch as a kid, but I just remember watching it, and just, it stuck with me a lot as a kid. Growing up, and then I think maybe it had been years. Maybe I'd seen it on, like, TNT or something, like, randomly, when you're scrolling through, and it's on like in the middle of the day on, like, TNT or TBS or something, whatever. And you catch a little bit of it, and you're just like, oh man, yeah, I remember this movie. That was crazy. And then you change the channel again. But I just remember catching little snips of it here and there as the years went by, and I think this is probably the first time rewatching it, and I'd probably say definitely over 5 years. I don't think I've watched it. It's probably been longer than that, but I within that range, probably a little more than 5 years since actually rewatching the entire film. But what for you though? Would you same question? Would this be something that you would recommend? Do you think it holds up? For me, I don't think it holds up as well as I thought it did. Like I had said in the beginning when I first brought it up, but it's entertaining, and you can get over those little things. Like I said, you can see the wires on like I said, the guy gets shot with the shotgun. I knew it was going to happen because I'm familiar with these kinds of movies growing up. Like that crazy shotgun, the guy gets flown 15, 20 feet behind him. I knew exactly what was going to happen before it happened because I saw the wires on the guy. I'm like, oh, this is going to be some crazy ass wire work that he's going to get flown back or whatever. And it happened like literally 5 seconds after I thought that. But for me, it's okay because I know when this movie was made, and it doesn't bother me that it's kind of over the top in some points. But it's definitely still entertaining for me, at least.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that this is one of the last big, like, kind of gonzo action films from the mid to late 90s before Matrix was released and changed the game. And, you know, after Matrix, these types of action films were kind of, how do you say, like, not done anymore. There was a new level of authenticity that the Wachowskis kind of brought into the mix, where just the choreography and everything was just next level. You know what I mean? And I think Face Off was one of the last ones to give us this kind of crazy, huge, like, but also kind of, how do you say, hokey at the same time.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But yeah, it's it definitely, like I said in my write-up, it feels dated in certain places, but if you are a fan of Travolta and Cage and you grew up in the, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s, I think there's a lot to appreciate with this piece. If you have, you know, if you can enjoy action mixed with like comedy and just people kind of just having a lot of fun and not taking the project very seriously, I think you would enjoy it. You know, look at the fucking rating on Rotten. Rotten's pretty harsh on a lot of movies. So for this to be in the 90s is
that actually blew me away when you told me that. That definitely surprised me. I was not expecting that. I was thinking maybe somewhere in the 50s.
Yes.
Like, honestly, I was thinking, oh, you know, 50s, 60s, maybe 60s, but definitely like in the 50s. You said 93, right?
Yeah.
That's insane to me. And no, that's insane. Yeah, you would expect to be way lower than what it is. But yeah, that Rotten Tomatoes is crazy. But yeah, like I totally agree with everything you said. Definitely entertaining. You know, if you can get past that hokiness and everything, if you're okay with that, then I think it's a good. I wouldn't say it's a great film, but it's a good film to watch if you want to kill some time, I guess. Just have some fun.
And if you're a fan of Nick Cage, it's like prime.
Yo, yeah. Yeah, the beginning, you know.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I do have some Swan facts for you if you want to hear them.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's get into it.
Okay. First up, Rob Cohen was originally supposed to direct the film, but chose to do Dragonheart instead.
Oh, wow. Dragonheart. Holy crap. I think I've seen that one time.
I think he also, going back to the Fast and the Furious, directed the first movie.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's funny.
Face Off was one of the 3 movies to be converted to Blu-ray by Paramount back in 2008. Right after... so I guess Paramount was actually backing the other... Was it...
the Laserdisc?
No, the...
it was like HD, the HD discs or whatever.
HD DVD, I think it was called.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You know, and then they realized that everybody was pushing towards Blu-ray, so then they ended up converting to Blu-ray, and it was like B movie, Next, and Face Off were the first titles to be made, for Blu-ray.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know if you knew this or you saw if you pay attention to credits at all, but Michael Douglas actually produced the film.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, I did not. I didn't see that at all. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I get you're never gonna believe this. It took 4 weeks to shoot the boat chase scene for the film.
No way, really?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Jesus, man, that is. Why did it take 4 weeks?
I don't know.
I would think like maybe 2 days. Like, film it the first time and then, we kind of messed up on this. Let's get some more reshoots. 4 weeks. Wow. That must have been like half the budget right there.
Yeah, to get this. How long could that possibly be? It's like less than 10 minutes, that scene, no? Or the chase?
Yeah, definitely less than, 10 minutes at the most. I can't comprehend why that would take 4 weeks to film that. I would be interested to hear some like background on that. Like if there's anything documented on why it took that long to do.
The only thing that I think is pretty elaborate is when Archer's boat goes through another boat and it like launches off and explodes. Like,
okay, yeah.
So, you have like your demolition and all this kind of stuff that you have to prep that, and maybe if they didn't get it, like they did it and they didn't like the shot and they have to prep it up again and do all this, but 4 weeks is a long time. Yeah. Like, what were you guys doing every day?
Oh man, jeez. And then like really like Travolta and Cage don't have to be there because it's all stuntmen.
Yeah,
the whole time. Oh my gosh, I can't. Man, jeez, that sucks. I mean, they're getting paid regardless because they're not. They don't have to do anything, but it's. Wow, 4 weeks to film that. I can't believe that. That's unfathomable to me.
A month just for the chase scene.
A month for less than 10 minutes of film. God, I couldn't. That seems impossible to me. Like now, that's like, your movie's failed if you're spending 4 weeks on one scene. That's a whole. That's like, for some low budget movies, that's a whole. That's filming a whole movie in 4 weeks.
Yeah, essentially.
Wow, oh, that's crazy.
I also have going back to Gina Gershon and Nick Cassavetes' characters. Do you remember you said they're obviously their brother and sister. Do you remember their names?
Dietrich and what's the lady's name? It was Dietrich. I know that was and Sasha.
Okay, Dietrich and Sasha. So, as we discussed during the show, when things happen in the hideout kind of fight scene, and they share that kiss, but they're supposed to be related, so it's like really kind of off-putting. I guess that was those two actors, their idea to just put that in there, like to really kind of like to like freak people out, I guess.
Just to be like, oh, they're crazy, like criminals, and they're like into incest and stuff.
I guess, yeah.
Oh my!
Because it's funny because Sasha's clearly like in love with Castor Troy, and she just allows that to happen in front of him, and he's kind of like, what? When you think about that scene, he's just like, okay.
Yeah. Oh man, that is. Why would they do that? That's one of those. Wow. This movie has left me with more questions.
More questions than answers.
Right? Yeah. I wow. What was it? I want to know I want to know the reasoning between that. Like, why would you like? Oh, this is going to be great. It just makes you. It's like when you think about it, it makes you uncomfortable. Like really uncomfortable to watch that.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was their point, I guess, to do that, to kind of make you unsettled, but...
I mean, I guess it was to make you possibly think, like, oh,